Can you quit porn cold turkey? Some men can, but most can't. And for the 95% of you that tried to quit cold turkey and you failed, I have some news for you. You're just like me. And over the course of 10 years of being addicted to adult content, if I had a penny for how many times I try to quit and tell myself this is gonna be the last time and I'm never gonna go back again, I'd be a billionaire. Like seriously, it's been a really hard battle for me because I used to only rely on willpower and discipline. And for the 1,000th time, I can say this just does not work, for most guys at least. So if you're like me and you want to quit pornography, but you just can't, this video is for you. I'll outline if it's possible for you to quit cold turkey, and if it's not, I'll go ahead and give you an outline on how you could actually break free for good. Because I know, wouldn't it be nice to tell yourself enough is enough and then never go back? That's what you see in the movies. That's what you see other people do, right? Not right. Quitting pornography is a very tough battle. And unless you have the right game plan, you're probably going to be stuck in the stop-start cycle for years. If you had the self-control that you wanted, it'd be so easy to have a six-pack. It'd be so easy to be successful. We would stick to our goals and we would stick to our diets way easier. But sometimes we just don't have the amount of willpower that we want because willpower is a battery. It's not a long-term solution. But anyways, just quitting cold turkey is almost statistically impossible. So if you really want to quit porn, you have to make this shift inside of your mind. First, you need to stop viewing a relapse as a failure. You need to stop viewing it as you losing a battle. Because if you're always viewing it as a loss, you're never going to be able to win. We need to start looking at it for what it really is. Because what a relapse really is a learning opportunity. The most successful people on this planet always view temporary losses as learning opportunities. If you're playing any sport for the first time and you step on the field and you lose, are you going to just quit? Are you going to take off your cleats, hang them up, and say, hey, this is just not for me, and never play again? Or would you actually lean into what you did wrong? Would you ask yourself, what can I do better next time so that way I can win? Quitting pornography is the same game. You'll never win if you always view yourself as losing. The only way that you're going to be able to win is if you keep track of every single time you fall short and use it as a way to not let it happen again. And use it as a learning curve. So step number 1 is using every single relapse as a learning opportunity. So step number 1 is keeping our data. And it sounds boring, I know, data. But it's the most important part of recovery. Because if you don't track, you cannot improve. Like, how do you expect to save money if you're not even looking at your spending habits every single day? It's impossible. You're just going to be guessing, right? And you're going to stay in the same financial situation. Keeping track of your numbers doesn't have to be this complicated, complex, boring system. It's actually not. It's really simple. What I did when I was quitting pornography was, because I was always on my phone, I actually worked remotely, so I really was always on my phone. I had my notes app open, and I had 4 simple categories that I tracked and I reviewed every single day to make sure I was improving. The first question I would ask myself, where was I? Was I on the couch? Was I on my bed? Was I in the bathroom? Was I in the kitchen? Where was I at? Was I in the car? The second question I asked myself was, what was I doing? Was I on social media? Was I in the middle of work? Was I watching TV, bored? What was I doing? The third question I asked myself is, how was I feeling? Was I feeling a little bit bored? Was I feeling overwhelmed in the situation? Was I feeling stressed out because the day has just been overwhelming? What was I feeling in the moment? You have to really dig deep for this one sometimes. So what are you feeling? And the last question I asked myself was, what did I do good? Or what could I have done better? So if I successfully overcame the urge, I wrote down how I overcame it. What did I do instead? And if I wasn't successful that time, I wrote down what I could do better next time. This way, every single time that I did fall short, I had a plan on how to fix it the next time to make sure that I had a fighting chance of never going back. I like to view it as setting myself up for success. It's kind of like if you know that you have to wake up early tomorrow and you have to be on time for this very important meeting, wouldn't you want to get your clothes ready, lay it all out nice and neat, make sure your car keys are where you can find them, and make sure your coffee cup is set up everywhere? Wouldn't you want to set yourself up for success? So why wouldn't you do the same thing with something as important as getting your life back from adult content? So that's the first thing on your path to freedom. Now, if you're asking myself, how can I resist the urge to go back in the first place? How do I feel the need without actually going back? I'm going to tell you something a little bit strange, and I don't really know if it's scientific, but I do know is it helped me and it helped all the clients that I showed this to as well. So basically what I did way in the beginning when I felt like I just needed to get it done, where I was trying everything to stop, but I was like, oh, I just need it. You know, the old lies I used to tell myself. I would have this rule where I cannot masturbate to images or videos or pictures or anything like that. My rule was I can only use my imagination. And I know it sounds weird, but the reason for that and the reason why it helped is because, first of all, you're building a pattern. You're building a pattern of not relying on pornography. Yes, you may be still thinking of those images, but you're not getting that huge pixel-induced dopamine spike because you're not watching the real thing. Now, that's not a long-term solution, but what it does is it gives you the muscle, it gives you the confidence, it gives you the repetitions of actually not going back to adult content. You start to get used to not going back. And since you're not getting such high, huge amounts of that pixel-induced dopamine, you're actually getting a little bit less of an urge. You're actually getting a little bit less of that novelty in your brain. So over time, the amount of urges that you feel, they're not going to be as strong as the ones that you used to feel when you watch adult content all the time. It's kind of like if you ever played video games before, and say you're on a level 100, and you just cannot pass this final boss. It's super tough. Instead of fighting the hard battle, how easy would the game feel if you started going backwards? And instead of playing on level 100, you go back to the level 95 boss. And you beat him a couple times, and then you go back down to the level 90 boss. It gets so much easier when you're not fighting against the huge demon. But that's of course the last option. You want to set yourself up for success long before you even have the chance to fall short of the urge. And honestly, because I'm on my phone a lot, what I did to help me really fight these urges when they came up, instead of seeing all these flashy colors on my phone, I switched it to grayscale. So now everything I see is black and white. Like, I hope I look good in this lighting right now because it's black and white. I cannot see it. So all the things I saw on social media, all the things I saw on YouTube, they're way less flashy, they're way less poppy, and it reduces the amount of stimulation that goes into your brain and into your eyes when you see it. So when triggering images or triggering videos do pop up, they're not as stimulating to your brain. So yes, while some people may be able to quit cold turkey, for the most of us, it feels impossible, including myself. And if you want more personalized help, take a look at the description. You can find a link to schedule a root session call where we could dive deep into your specific situation and uncover the real reason why you go back. And we're going to do that to build a personalized game plan for you to quit. But that's only for the more serious people. So for the rest of you guys, keep in mind that relapse is not failure. It's a learning opportunity. But in order to make it a learning opportunity, always ask yourself the essential questions. What was I doing? What was I feeling? And what did I do good? Or what could I improve next time? When you start keeping this much data on this, it starts to become easy to see patterns. Like, you'll usually see that you relapse in bed at 10:30 p.m. when you're scrolling through Instagram. If you see the patterns, that's basically like if you're fighting in a war and you saw the other army's entire playbook. Like, you would already know how to win. And start fighting the easier battle. Run a novelty decrease where you do not watch pornography and instead rely on your imagination so that you don't get these endless amounts of pixel-induced dopamine, because that stuff is dangerous because it's never ending. Like, you can literally never get enough. These are just some of the things that really help me out. And yes, I 100% believe that they're going to help you out, but by no means does this make quitting pornography a walk in the park. It's going to be tough. You're going to need to really want it. And if you don't want to fight these battles alone, feel free to subscribe and join this community of people on the same path to freedom that you are. And again, if you're tired of going back, and you want someone there by your side answering these questions, giving you this one-on-one accountability and support to make quitting 10 times easier, click the link below and let's talk.